And Rosanna Polito from You Don't Speak For Me. Susan, what's going on today with FAIR? Why are you here in Postville?
Well, we're here because we just can't let the other side get away with this protest today of the immigration raids without being able to tell our side of the story. And the side of the story that they keep refusing to talk about is the fact that every one of the workers that we're taking out of here that is charged and doing jail time and then deportation are people who committed identity theft. And we think that's an important part of this. They simply keep talking about how law enforcement have come harshly down on these poor workers and divided families, divided the community. But there's more than that. How about the 300 plus people who had their identities stolen that may not even know yet that it's happened to them? And that's not being talked about. That's a felony. It's punishable. You and I would go to jail for a felony.
Right.
They need to go to jail. Then they need to be deported. And frankly, because they've committed a felony, they're never going to be able to come back again. So it seems kind of a futile effort on the church's part to talk about what they're going to do with these families. They need to make the hard decision. They're either going to stay here without their loved ones who are going to be deported, or they need to go home with them. So.
I've seen this week, my congressman is Congressman Gutierrez. I live in his district, and obviously he was here yesterday, and he was meeting with some people here. And I've seen from him and some other people the argument that that they didn't really get a fair deal, a fair shake, because both of the options that they had included deportation. So what would you say to that?
I would say that anybody that comes into this country illegally or legally, but is a guest of this country, even if it's not an invited guest, and commits a felony, needs to be deported, period, and never be allowed to return again.
Rosanna, of course I first have to ask you to tell me why you're dressed like this.
A picture says 1,000 words. This is Lady Liberty crying out to save the American worker. What we see, this is happening all across the United States, and illegal aliens are here pushing down wages, and Americans are losing their job. We're in an economic downturn. Americans need help. Americans need a friend. Those who play by the rules, we were told the American way, they would have an opportunity to build the American dream, but now we see Americans all around us living on the same streets and neighborhoods, losing their homes, losing the American dream that they worked for. And so I'm here to rally around the hardest working people in America, the American worker.
Excellent. And tell me, you're with You Don't Speak For Me. Tell me exactly who you represent with that.
Well, we're American Hispanics speaking out on illegal immigration, and of course, when the other side, like Luis Gutierrez, wants to play the race card, the truth is that there's many Hispanics out there that do not want to see open borders and want these people who break our laws deported. And so we're giving a voice to those people. Many of them are scared, in fact, to speak out because I've been told, well, I have children that go to school. I'm scared for their safety. So there are a group of us that have been going around the country and speaking out on behalf of American Hispanics who want to see our laws enforced.
Okay. Rosanna, Susan, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
That goes backwards.
And can you give us your name and where you're from?
Yes, I'm Maria Shanowski. I am from Kalamazoo, Michigan, but I'm originally from Colombia, South America.
Okay. And what brought you out to Postville today?
Well, there are too many reasons for that. First of all, to support those who are working towards fair treatment of the middle class, the American workers, and for enforcement of our laws.
Okay. And you said you came here from Colombia yourself.
Yes.
When did you come?
I came here in '96.
Okay. And what made you come to America?
I came to learn English.
Okay.
And then I started doing my undergrad, met my husband, got married, now I'm stuck.
Okay.
And I do it.
You said that you're also part of You Don't Speak For Me.
Correct.
And what do you say to people that charge racism on the issue of border security and enforcing our laws?
There's nothing to do with racism. It has to do with fairness. Let's take the racism card away, because really, let's talk on even ground here. If I go to your house and I start eating all your food and then I start charging you, oh, by the way, I clean your table in your kitchen, so you have to pay me. Do you think that's fair? No. So if we put it that way, then we actually, in simple terms, view these massive immigration as, I'd rather hire someone to clean my table from here. I'd rather share my food with my neighbor from here, in my neighborhood, protect those who are around it. And it's not about telling everyone else, oh, you're poor, you know what I mean?
Yes.
We don't want you to come. No, let's empower their country. How can we help them actually so that their country is better, their country is enriched, not just the top 5% of the population who have all the money there.
Right.
But how can we help them actually so that we're helping them to fish? We're not just giving them the scraps.
Yeah.
So that's the way that I see it. I really don't put race in the front line. There are not only Mexicans who are here entering illegal.
Right.
We have to also account for a lot of Asians and other countries who also have a lot of massive immigration. We just seem to concentrate on Mexico for some reason.
I know that there's a larger number of people that come from Mexico, and that may be part of the reason, but you're I mean, even here, they said Guatemala was the primary, and there were also people from Poland who are here illegally, so it's not just one race or even one country.
Exactly, and that's the point that people don't remember, but this doesn't have anything to do with the color of the skin.
Yeah.
It has to do with, this is our country, we have to protect our country. How are we going to become a healthier country to protect our own citizens if we keep losing jobs, if we keep losing people's pride and pride to work. I also find it interesting that now many high school kids don't want to work. Well, they used to pick the corn, they used to work doing service, now they don't. What happened to those jobs that were for them? For them to learn to deal with money.
Now, coming here yourself from another country, have you found America to be a welcoming and inclusive place?
That depends on which age group you talk to.
Okay.
Younger generations may be a little bit more not so open.
Okay.
I think older people who may have traveled may actually find value on learning from other countries.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that every 18-year-old kid is rude. No, it's just what my experience has been. But I think as soon as you start showing them that you mean no threat, and then they actually find it a valuable source.
Okay. And have you experienced any backlash yourself for speaking out on this issue? People treat you any differently, or have you experienced anything like at a protest or anything like that?
Not really.
Okay.
It's also because I approach it as this doesn't have anything to do with violence. This has a lot to do with respecting our country. So I think if I put it that way, most people don't feel so threatened. And I also think that because I'm Hispanic, they assume automatically I'm on their side.
Okay.
Which is not fair either.
No, it's not. That's why you have to say you don't speak for me, right?
Exactly. And I forgot my little tag that says you don't speak for me, because in reality they don't. They really don't. And this issue is so dimensional. It's not just one about race, and it's not just about mistreating people. It's about respecting the country. It's about honoring the rules of every country. If you start looking at Mexico, you will actually notice that immigration laws are very strict.
Very strict, yes.
Very strict. So why not respect ours? That's how I see it.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
Anytime. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.